Some lessons come early, gently guiding us forward. Others arrive late after mistakes, losses, and moments we wish we could undo. These late lessons hurt the most, but they also carry the greatest power. This is the story of a man who ignored the quiet warnings of life, learned the truth too late, and yet found that the lesson arrived just in time to save his future. It begins not with failure, but with confidence, the kind of confidence that blinds you, the kind that makes you believe time is unlimited, opportunities are guaranteed, and consequences belong to other people. He thought he had everything under control until life proved him wrong. His name was Michael. He lived in a growing city filled with ambition. Opportunities were everywhere, and he believed he was smart enough to take advantage of them whenever he wanted. He worked a decent job, earned steady money, and spent freely, convinced that tomorrow would always be better than today. He didn't come from wealth, but he also didn't fear poverty. Money came in and money went out. Saving felt unnecessary. Learning felt optional. Growth, he believed, could wait. His days were busy but unfocused, and his nights were filled with distractions that helped him forget how empty his goals had become. Michael wasn't unhappy, but he wasn't building anything either. He was just existing, floating through his days, convinced that life would eventually fall into place on its own. He was coasting, assuming the road would always be smooth and straight. The struggle began quietly. Small warnings appeared, like tiny cracks in a foundation. There were missed payments on small bills, lost opportunities because he was slow to act, and the uncomfortable realization that his skills were slowly becoming outdated. Michael noticed them, of course. He saw the red flags, but he ignored them. He told himself it was temporary, just a phase, something he would fix later. He was the king of later. Procrastination wasn't just a habit. It was his entire strategy for life. Then one day, everything collapsed. The cracks in the foundation gave way, and the entire structure came crashing down. His company downsized, and his role disappeared overnight. Just like that. No warning, no second chance. The same confidence that once protected him now mocked him. His savings were thin, his options were limited, and the cold, hard reality hit harder than he ever expected. Shock came first, leaving him numb. He walked through his days in a daze, unable to process what had happened. Then anger followed, a hot, bitter anger at the system, at bad timing, and most of all, anger at himself. He felt betrayed by the world, but deep down, he knew he had betrayed his own potential. Soon after, regret moved in. It was a heavy, suffocating blanket. He replayed every careless decision, every moment he chose comfort over growth, every time he said, "I'll do it tomorrow." He saw friends moving forward, buying homes, getting promotions, while he struggled just to stay afloat. The future he once assumed was guaranteed now felt fragile, like a distant, unreachable shore. The hardest part wasn't losing the job. It was realizing how completely and utterly unprepared he was for life's inevitable challenges. He had built his house on sand, and the tide had finally come in. At his lowest point, when the noise of regret was deafening, Michael stopped running. He stopped trying to distract himself. For the first time in years, he allowed himself to sit with the pain and ask the difficult questions. Why had he waited so long to take responsibility for his own life? Why did he confuse being busy with actually building a future? He began speaking to older people, mentors who had lived through failure and rebuilding. He read stories of people who lost everything and still found a way forward. One powerful pattern became crystal clear in all their stories. They all learned early what he was learning late, that discipline matters more than motivation. Motivation is a feeling that comes and goes, but discipline is a system you build. One evening, while organizing a box of old documents, Michael found a dusty notebook from years earlier. Inside, written in his own hand, were goals he once cared deeply about, but never pursued. Learning a new language, starting a small side business, getting in shape. Reading his own handwriting felt like confronting a younger, more hopeful version of himself. And the realization hurt deeply. He hadn't failed because life was unfair. He failed because he kept postponing growth. He had treated his own potential like a distant appointment he could always reschedule. The turning point did not arrive with a new job offer or a sudden stroke of luck. It arrived with a quiet, firm decision. Michael accepted that no one was coming to rescue him. His future depended entirely on what he chose to do next, right here, right now. He stopped waiting for motivation to strike. He started building structure. He set a schedule and stuck to it, even on days he felt lost. He started learning new, in-demand skills online instead of waiting for opportunities to fall into his lap. He started saving, even if it was just a few dollars at a time, instead of spending every cent he had. The progress was slow and humbling. There were no overnight transformations, but it was real. For the first time in his life, he valued consistency over excitement. Each disciplined day repaired a small piece of the future he had neglected for so long. Every small act of self-control was a vote for the person he wanted to become. Over time, Michael finally understood the lesson he had ignored for years. Comfort is expensive and discipline is freedom. He had spent years chasing the easy comfort of the present, only to find it had cost him his freedom in the future. Now, by embracing the discomfort of discipline, he was earning his freedom back. He learned that time does not wait for confidence, it rewards preparation. The lesson came late, but it arrived with a devastating clarity. Growth delayed is growth denied. He stopped blaming his circumstances and started building systems to overcome them. Life didn't suddenly become easier, but he became stronger. Strong enough to face uncertainty without fear. Months turned into years. Michael rebuilt his life, slowly and intentionally. His confidence returned, but this time it wasn't the arrogant, blind confidence of his youth. It was a quiet, solid confidence forged in discipline. It came not from luck, but from the knowledge that he could rely on himself. He no longer feared the future because he was actively shaping it, one small disciplined action at a time. He wasn't wealthy, but he was secure. He wasn't famous, but he was proud. The lesson he learned too late became the foundation of everything that followed. Some lessons arrive late, but they don't have to be wasted. The pain of regret can be a powerful catalyst for change. If you recognize a part of yourself in Michael's story, if you've been putting off your own growth, don't wait for a collapse to teach you what discipline can. Start now. Prepare before pressure forces you to. Learn before life demands it. The future can still be saved, but only if you choose to act today. Thank you for watching.